All right, so in my 20s, I had this habit of getting into long distance relationships. And because that didn't seem to make me sufficiently crazy and insecure, I would often recommend to the person I was long distance dating, hey, buddy, why don't we open this up? You know, like you date other people, I'll date other people while we're still dating each other. But what ended up happening was I did not date other people. I sat in front of my computer waiting for their little light to come on ICQ Instant Messenger. And then when they, came on, I would casually ask them questions about how they'd spent their evening, trying to suss out without seeming crazy or obsessive whether or not they'd been on a date, whether or not they'd had sex with said date. And after like 3 or 4 of these relationships, I started to realize that I was becoming batshit crazy. I was becoming the kind of person who would completely and totally break into your house, steal your rabbit, and then boil it on your stove. And at that point, I was like, all right, maybe this isn't the relationship style for you. Maybe you're more of a monogamy type person. So I broke up with that last long distance open relationship guy on the East Coast and moved to California to start grad school, where I immediately needed to get a job because I was living in California and I was a grad student. So I interviewed for this job at a winery, and I realized I was in a little bit of trouble on the first minute of the first interview because the guy interviewing me, who would be my boss, was like super hot. He had this really great voice, which is a thing for me. He was really smart and funny in a job interview, and he was the winemaker's son, so I was like, okay, you're going to keep me in wine and classiness for the rest of my life, so this sounds good. So I left there and I was pretty much like, sweet, found my husband, done with that one, check the list, we're good. And I endeavored to let him know subtly over the next several months that we were meant to be together. So I asked him out on, happy hours with friends or to come over to my house for a party, or when he would drop off the key before work, I would wear my sluttiest outfit and have a tray of biscotti and coffee ready. It did not appear to make any difference to him. Although we had great chemistry at work, it seemed to stop there. He never kind of came out. He just didn't really seem like he was into me. And after like 5 months, I had to concede. It was time to start making other wedding plans in my head. And I gave up, which is, of course, promptly when he decided to ask me out. So we went out, and it was the best. It was the best date ever. It was so amazing. It started at 2 p.m. on Monday and went until 4 p.m. on Tuesday. And I was super smitten, and he appeared also to be super smitten. And there was just this one problem. After having these horrible long-distance relationships for so long, I had sworn off of them, and I was about to embark on a summer in Europe for my grad school internship, which is about 5,000 miles away from California, in case you're counting. That qualifies as long distance, I do believe. So we talked about it, and we decided to forge ahead anyway and to try to be a long-distance couple. And I was absolutely terrified. I had not been a crazy bitch for about a year, and I was not looking forward to re-entering rabbit boiling territory. And happily, that is not what happened. I was in Spain and France, and I got there, and we started this like super intimate communication. We wrote each other these really long, crazy, detailed emails about how much we missed each other and what our days had been like. And we Skyped, and we ICQ'd, and we commented on each other's Friendster profiles, just to date this a little bit. And the best part was his way of communicating with me that made me feel like so secure and so loved, and it was so adorable. He made these little digital postcards that he would send to me every few days, and they were of him photoshopped into some scene traversing the country towards me. He started out, on a surfer body in California, and then was in the back of a wagon being driven east inexplicably by Mormons. And then he would scale Mount Everest or fight an alligator in the Everglades. And the last one that I got from him was him scaling the Eiffel Tower, and I was in Paris. So I knew that meant that he was coming to see me, and that the end of our online relationship was drawing near. And what I realized when he finally made it to Paris and we had these 2 insanely romantic, crazy weeks, definitely go to Paris if you're in love, the place to be, was that the online nature of those other relationships had not been the problem. And the distance of those other relationships had not been the problem. Those relationships were the problem. And with the right person, it was fine. Long distance didn't mean anything. It didn't make me crazy. It didn't make me insecure. So 10 years later, we are 5 years married. Thank you. And we owe it all to Friendster. Thank you so much.